There we go.
There we go.
All right, perfect. So we got 44 people on here, Hubert. I am excited about tonight, guys. I love doing the webinars because the webinars allow us to really tackle some key things that I think people need. Just today, at least 3 of the people that I was coaching today said that they had a block. And for various reasons that we're going to get into tonight. And just to make an introduction, this is Hubert Payne, who is with me. He's one of our new coaches, and he's actually over at the space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Coming together over here.
Looking beautiful. Man, it's looking beautiful. It is the perfect place to go and go deeper on what could be blocking you, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. So the space is a mental gym, and it is a place we go to physical gym. This is a place where we go to the mental and emotional gym. Hubert is our coach there. So we've already picking up clients and sending people over to this space. And we're going to be coming over there and working here at some point pretty soon, me and my team, just to get a feel for what it feels like, because it is such a cool place. And what is it? Is a cool space where you can do the deep work to unblock yourself. So this is a product or service that we did not offer until Hubert came along. And many people that I coach, I tell them, this is what you got to go do. This is how you got to go do it. I want to activate the pray drive. And then they don't go do it. It's like, why don't they go do it? Right? Like I told them exactly what to do. I meet with them every Monday in Monster Producer. And then Hubert comes along and starts talking about some of the work that he's doing. And I go, you know what? That is something we need. We need a coach that does nothing but help people who have mental and emotional blocks break through their stronghold, whatever, and get to the next level.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tonight we're going to be breaking down some things. I'm going to be asking Hubert key questions, and then along the night we're going to be introducing a concept, a 4-week series called Unblock Yourself, that Hubert and I are going to be doing via Zoom in the month of March. Basically, it's every Monday in March at 5:30. I'll be giving you guys a chance to get that coaching. Some of you will want to go deeper. Some of you already know you've got a block. Some of you already know that you're stuck at a spot that you don't want to be stuck at. Some of you are like, man, I need some one-to-one coaching to unblock myself. And if that's you, we've got some people on here today. Mark Schaefer, who is on here with us, can help you. Mark at coachburt.com or Eric at coachburt.com can get you a free consult with Hubert, and we can begin to work through that block. So thank you guys for joining tonight. Give us your time, your energy. We're going to give you 45 minutes. And we're definitely, Stephanie, going to help you really get clear on why you're blocking. So I have a concept, Hubert. So let's get this thing started. Okay.
All right.
Hubert,
all right.
the drummer for Little Big Town. And he's got a special skill out in helping people overcome trauma or blockages in their life. And so I'm going to start off with some questions, because I talk a lot about going from A to B. Yeah. A is my current position. B is my desired outcome. And even if I can see it and it's clear to me, it's like, this is my ideal outcome. A is everything I'm not happy with right now in life. I'm frustrated. I feel trapped. I feel like I just can't, whatever. But I can see B, man. If you asked me what B was, I could tell you this is it. Boom, this is it. My question I wrote down is, what ultimately is keeping a person from just simply going from A, their current position, to B, their desired outcome? What could it be that is keeping millions of people from? Why do they say stuck? That's the question.
Yeah. So here's the deal, Coach. First of all, I'm super excited to be here. I think the number one thing is we don't know how to get unstuck, right? So I don't believe procrastination is an issue of willpower a lot of times. I'm a former football player. I'm a musician. It's all about discipline and figuring things out, a lot of hours of solitude. And when I think about a lot of times I've gotten stuck, it wasn't about, it wasn't a willpower. It wasn't because I didn't want it bad enough. It was because I didn't know what to do to get to my next step, to get to B, right? So if you walk with me, I got a story real quick, Coach. I got four beautiful daughters, 2 sons. I had an awesome opportunity to take 2 of them out to the daddy-daughter dance in Spring Hill, Tennessee, Saturday night, and I was excited. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I love rhythm, not very much of a dancer, never have been. I'm a very self-conscious, self-aware person, and it's really difficult for me to kind of let my hair down and just be in a moment and dance. But this was a special opportunity I had with my daughters, and there was no way, Coach, that I was going to show up and not dance with my babies, right? So now I get in here and I see some dads, and as soon as my little girls get on that dance floor, we got popcorn, they were ready to go. And that first song, I was excited. That was my B, Coach. I was A, and I was ready to get to B. And I sat there, that first song, and all three of us were on the floor, and I realized something real quick. I don't know what to do with my body, right? So my girls start dancing, and I start realizing, because I had spent so much time with this narrative, I'm not a dancer, right? I'm an athlete. I'm not a dancer. I'm too big for that, right? I didn't put things in my tool bag to know what to do in the moment. And the first song seemed like it was 17 minutes long, Coach. 17 minutes of me trying to figure out what to do with my body. I was awkward. I wasn't even present with my girls. They're looking at me like, oh man, what is Dad doing, right? Yep. So I never thought I'd say this, but my saving grace was the song YMCA came on. And if you guys ever heard that song, the YMCA, I was super excited. Now, here's what's crazy. My body started feeling relaxed before mentally I could understand the benefit that was coming. And here was the benefit. We all know on the chorus, that song is going to tell us what to do, right? That song is going to tell us to go YMCA, right? So when I got to that part of the song, I had a way to organize my experience, right? And when I had a way to organize my experience, I was able to look at my girls and I saw them smiling, and I was able to be present because I wasn't thinking about what to do with my body, right? So I was able to garner some connection. I almost got into tears in between the choruses, right? And I couldn't wait for the next one, right? And it was funny because there was even synergy between me and all the rest of the dads that are probably struggling with the same thoughts, because we're like, this is the easy one. We know what to do. And I draw a line. And in that moment, I thought about mental and emotional health, the way that we organize our life experience, the narratives that drive our behavior, right? I think if you ask most people, how do you work on your mental and emotional health? How do you work on how you're showing up in relationships? Most people will say either I don't know, or they would say I see a therapist or meditate. Now, as a football player, we only go see the therapist when we break a leg, when it's a long-term injury, right? But what's the maintenance? So I think that what we're talking about here, Coach, and what gets me excited is the maintenance of emotional intelligence, mental and emotional health. Because if a coach can come along and help me organize my experience, show me how to work on me, right? Show me how to navigate my internal environment, then I can have space to focus on connection like I did with my babies. And hopefully I didn't embarrass them too much, but we got there.
Well, you mentioned some key things here that I think it's very important, because I would do the same thing, right? Like if I was out there dancing, right? But you mentioned the word narratives that drive our behavior.
Yeah.
What I see as a coach is people get to a certain, let's just call it a ceiling of complexity, right? And they literally just get to the same place over and over and over and over. And they literally can't, they're so in it. They're so emotional. They're so biased that they can't figure out how to break out of this. And it manifests itself in the business world as man, I'm stuck at the same level, right? But could it be, hey, what you just said, the song gave you a structure. Could be that, hey man, you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame.
Yeah.
Right. What are you doing to sharpen mentally? What are you doing to sharpen emotionally? What are you doing to find that which is blocking you? So when you think about, you talk about this space, we call the space the space, because there's an analogy here. we're trying to get you to a space. A psychologist may call it a flow state, a place where you're operating at a very high frequency, but it is a performance space. It is a performance moment where you get to the other side, but you can't experience that until you clear out the system. So let's talk
Yeah.
about if a person came to the space. Like if I said, man, Hubert, I'm stuck coaching a woman today. She's like, I'm stuck. I got all this emotional baggage. I've had all this trauma happen in my life recently. My whole business is falling apart as a relate to, which is what will happen when your life falls apart. The business will fall apart many times.
Yeah.
So what would you do with them there at the space? Like what kind of mental work would you do to unblock them emotionally or mentally?
So first of all, we're gonna get into your story. I, as a coach, I firmly believe that you perfectly got exactly where you are right now. This could be controversial, but I also feel like you've done the best you could do with what you have. That includes your mindset, right? So the beauty in that, the opportunity in accepting those two statements is if you perfectly got to where you are with the coach, now you got a third eye, right? So we're going to get into your story. I see this a lot of times, Coach. We create a version of us to survive certain environments as youth, right? And they might be our parents, or, you know, if we're a part of organized sports, a lot of times that becomes our identity. We create a version of us to survive that environment. More often than not, if we don't update our system as we get older, those survival modes become dysfunction. And then we start becoming an adult, and it's like, well, what do I really want? Not what my parents want, not what people told me I should do. This is what I want now. And we start asking great questions to get closer to the best version of us, our most authentic self, but we haven't updated our system, right? So a lot of times when we get stuck, if you sit there and kind of just think about the narrative that's driving it, it sounds childish. It'll be very immature, right? So my job as a coach and what I do here, we have a very fun approach to getting inside your story. I use a lot of role play. I use a lot of props, a lot of creating, a lot of experiential coaching. So we get into your story, you get real aware of where you are, what forms your story, but only so we can go forward and paint the vision of what you want, and then build a person who you need to be to sustain that, right? Because it's one thing to flash and get a great opportunity, but I'm concerned with character development and how do you use the narrative of your past to serve you in a new way.
Yeah, because when you think about this, you're right. I was thinking about my own life when you said that. I kind of formed this caricature of me when I was young as a coach, right? I'm a coach.
Yeah.
This is who I am, right? This is my identity. I'm a coach, Coach Burt. People don't even know my first name. And, and I think about this, that we kind of form this identity and then we go throughout our life and we can attach our identities to that. If things not going well in that role, then our self-worth goes down. And, and I was also thinking about, why would a person, if they're going along and life's going pretty good, right? Because you mentioned mental, emotional, life's going pretty good. You're playing little big time people. You're around major artists, two types of businesses, painkillers and vitamins. Life's going pretty good. Why would a person come to the mental gym if life's going pretty good? Because I think I know why they go to the mental gym. You use the word maintenance, updating our system, operating system. You go to the physical gym every day. You update that physical structure, but you don't update, right? It's kind of like this, man. Some people are 57 magnums operating, 57 calibers operating at 357 Magnum world.
They
haven't updated the system, and so their thought patterns and everything. So talk about why a person comes to the mental gym for the maintenance, because we're going to be doing courses, one-day events, small group, webinar series that we're going to be releasing. Like, why does a person that's kind of clicking on every cylinder, they feel like, come to the mental gym?
So here's what I see a lot. Dealing with NFL athletes, dealing with high profile entertainers, musicians. A lot of times we've built great systems in one area of our life, right? So there's a difference between achievers and high achievers. Achievers, they're going to set high goals, right? They're going to go above and beyond. They're going to do what's more than asked, and they're going to do that. What I'm interested in is high achievement. When you become a high achiever, you won't settle for anything less than the best of what you can be, right? And I really believe that the parts of us that won't let us sleep, that say, no, you're not okay. The parts of us that say, you know what, you're winning at work, but when you come home, there's a blank spot. There's a blind spot. Those are the best parts of us because they won't allow us to be okay with achievement, right? Like I love playing on Little Big Town, and I will continue to do that for as long as they'll have me. It's awesome. I play drums in front of thousands of people, but that's something I can do. I'm also concerned with what I should be doing, right?
Yeah.
And that's leads me to service, right? That's what it means for me. I would imagine if you sat down and you got honest with yourself and you listen to the parts of you that, like I said, it might be keeping you up at night. It might be making you feel like I'm a little bit not all the way connected with what I'm doing, right? Look, come in here. Let's get into your story. Let's get into high achievement, right? And the thing about high achievement, you can't achieve those goals alone. When you're trying to, it's a difference between waking up and being, I'm fighting to survive life. I'm taking the blows and I'm punching back. And when you wake up and you're being pulled by destiny, that's the space. That's the space that I want to coach people to and through. It's a difference. You got a different kind of fitness. You show up different. You have a different ability to connect with people. You walk in a different way. You talk in a different way. No alarm clock wakes me up. I get excited when I go to sleep because I can't wait to wake up. When I think about all the things that I'm doing, trying to be a professional drummer, trying to be a great husband, a great father, trying to grow a new business. I can't do these things alone because these are high achievement goals, right? This is my destiny. I can't do it alone, and I got to be obedient to it, right? And it's a special space that I'm passionate about, right? And I'm passionate about helping people do that for whatever that looks like for you.
Well, I think, a lot of our people that follow me know I talk constantly about A to B, right? Like what I said in the beginning. And A is your current position, but it's also all the things you're frustrated with about life. I wrote down this cycle of why do people start with good intention, fail to follow through, and then experience guilt. Right. This is one of the greatest human nature. I study human nature, and human nature tells me people get excited and then they fall off the wagon and then they experience guilt. And the more times that happens, the more it erodes their own trust with their own self. Till eventually they just lose all faith in their own self. See, this is a mental gym concept. Is why do you, right? Like I've had people call into my coaching programs, Hubert, and say, man, why should I sign up for your coach? I signed up for 7 different coaching programs. I've never done any of them. Right? Like I've lost total faith in myself. My wife has lost faith in me. My husband's lost faith in me. My family's lost faith in me. Like this is a pattern that can be changed, right? If you go to work on that system. So let's talk about that because this is the reason the purpose-driven life was so popular many years ago, selling 1 million copies a month, folks. People had found their purpose, number one. And number two, he talks about this vicious cycle. And this vicious cycle is I start, pray drive is activated, but I don't finish. Paul in the Bible says, man, I try to do good, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And if Paul couldn't do it, we're all in trouble. Okay. Now, here's the question though. Why do people fall off the wagon and keep that cycle going over and over and over? And what would the mental gym, what would the space do for them?
So here's the deal with stories, narrative. Anything that you experience, you have to draw a story. That's our defense mechanism, right? We got to have some understanding. We got to be able to organize what happened, if it was good or bad. Now, what happens is when we experience pain, trauma, we take on stories that put us in a defensive posture, right? And we know that can lead to disconnection in relationships, opportunities. What I see a lot of times with the story deal is very comfortable and it protects us not to deal with it. So we'll suppress it. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like what that person's going through, right? Oh, I'll get over it. That's just a part of my story. I can't change it. No, you can't change the facts. But I get emotional when I think about this past year and a half sitting with people, experiencing their deepest, darkest trauma. And when they approach their history with emotion, with compassion, right? Empathy, a ton of respect, with the curiosity that's real soft, and you get like that with your emotional history, it leads to healing. And it fires me up, Coach, because when I see people experience healing from approaching their history in that way, then they're able to take on more information and act on it. And then we're moving, right? So when Coach says, when I've gotten to my story and then I decide, okay, I do deserve success, right? I'm not an imposter, right? When I deal with that, then when Coach tells me do this, this, and this, and activate your prey drive, I'm going. When Coach says follow up, I'm following up because I feel like I deserve it. He can tell me every day for a year to follow up if I don't feel like I deserve success because of something in my history, an old message that's distorted from when I was half at the age I am right now. I'm not going to receive that, right? I'm not going to receive love. Furthermore, I'll get frustrated about why I'm not connecting.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
I
go
think
all day
about
on
it.
it.
Yeah, no, I think about this and deserving. You know, I
Yeah,
always believe that people go out in the world and some just don't believe they deserve to win. They don't believe
yeah,
they deserve abundance. They don't believe they deserve to be the best. They don't believe, right? So we call them considerations in the coaching world, which is an internal thought that prohibits an action.
yeah,
Okay. I've got some kind of internal thought that's keeping me from going. Like I know Coach Burt said, activate the prey drive. I know he said, have a remarkable boldness, because that's when two
yeah,
words I've used a lot, remarkable boldness. But man, I don't have it in me to be bold. What have I got to be bold about? It's almost like a deserve level is low. So when you think about, or the worthiness level is low,
yeah,
going to the
yeah,
space, going to the space would help build that self-esteem, build a higher awareness, build
yeah,
the internal machine
yeah,
so that you believe you deserve to win. Because I'm telling you, I coach so many people, man, they don't believe they deserve to win,
yeah,
and they don't know how to fight out of it. They believe they deserve to lose.
yeah. So we're not born with that, Coach. Uh, the thing about it, a baby, if a baby cries and no one picks it up, um, that baby doesn't even know how to regulate its system, and it wouldn't even make it, right? So what happens? We go throughout life, and I believe that we all have an undamaged part of us that's the best of us.
Hmm.
It gets covered up with shame, bad messaging, uh, getting let down, working super hard for something and not even getting a chance to do it, right? Being looked over. Uh, and then we recycle those messages. So a lot of the work that we do here in the space is getting to the core of those messages and then making sure we understand this is what it looks like on the other side of addressing that. We're going to do
Yeah.
that to do this. So now when we got a new narrative, we can build, right? Now we can build with the updated system, with everything that you've learned, right?
Hmm.
And it's funny because your story then begins to push you forward, and it makes your future make more sense instead of hold you back and keeping you in prison.
What's it like to play drums in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people?
For me, it's very affirming because I spent my life until I was 21 playing in a room alone. So it's very affirming. I'm very grateful for it. Every time feels like the first time. Never get tired of it. It's a new juice every time. Um, it's awesome. I get to play for country music royalty, and I'm grateful for that. They're a country band that started when I was an 18-year-old kid in Detroit, Michigan, right? And I get to play drums and kind of push the pulse. So it's awesome. Also with that, I understand that it's a blessing and blessings don't come without responsibility. So when I'm playing in front of that many people, it's also a reminder of what's in me, right? What do I have to serve? Like how many different layers can I serve with, right? So it's awesome and it's connected to, you know, my destiny, like I was talking about earlier. So I enjoy it.
Well, the reason I asked that question is because that is possible for everybody in their own way.
Yes.
Not to
Yes.
play time for a little big town, but what I'm saying is just like me speaking on a stage to 10,000 or in a few weeks 3,000 or sharing stage, it's possible. I was a high school basketball coach. The reason I'm telling you this is that performance moment.
Yeah.
That's really one of the original concepts I was attracted to Hubert about, is he had this concept called the performance moment. It has evolved into the space, like getting you through this muck and that is that which is holding you back so you can experience that fulfillment and that very, very high level of engagement with your talent and distributing that talent to another world. And so you'll never get there until you get down to the nitty gritty and deal with some of these things that could be blocking you. And you may not even know what's blocking you. You just know one thing, man, I'm stuck. I'm stuck at the same place. I'm living the same story. I got the same life. I know I got potential. I hear this over and over. I got talent. I know I got potential. I know I'm supposed to be playing at a bigger level. Guy sitting at the hunting club at the lodge last night said, man, Coach, can I be honest with you? I said, absolutely. First time I ever met the guy. He said, man, I know I'm supposed to be playing on a bigger level, but I just can't figure out how to get there, man. I just can't figure out how to get there. So this is why we created this concept. And Mark is posting a 4-week series because Hubert and I are going to be doing a 4-week series on how to unblock yourself. And that's a virtual series. It'll be a Zoom series like this. The first Monday of March, we will send out the replays if you miss it. It's only $97 for the 4 weeks of coaching. But we do want to start acclimating this concept. We want to get people to the space. We want to get you into small groups. We want to get you into pods that are being coachable. So what flipped the switch for you? How did you go from, hey man, I'm the drummer for a little big town, but I got a deep passion. Thank you, Beth. I got a deep passion for helping people in this way. Like I got a deep passion for activating prey driving people. I don't have a deep passion for what you do, right? You got a deep passion for that muck in the middle. I want you just to send them back to me, Hubert, ready to go, and I'll activate the prey drive in them so they can go do it.
Yeah. Right.
So where did that activate?
So for me, it was a little bit before Little Big Town. I had a really traumatic event. What's funny is, Coach, we're on 12th Street downtown right now at Marathon Village. And 11 years ago on 12th Street, down the street, I was stabbed in a nightclub. I was just hanging out with some friends and a random guy came in with a knife and he threatened a bunch of people. And he stabbed me in the leg and he stabbed me in the hand. I have a permanent disability and I have no mobility in my pinky finger. I lost it. But the awesome thing was I had to move home with my parents for almost a year. And I got a chance to sit down and kind of go through my story, right? Now I went through my story and I just asked myself the hard questions. And in that, I took my role from being an athlete, I took it back. I took my identity from it and turned it into a role, right? Because I realized that narrative wasn't serving me. So once I did that, I was able to kind of take the skills from football and apply it to what I wanted as a musician. So getting real clear on role versus identity during that time, getting real clear on my resources. What do I have? What's in me? Discipline. What do I value? What do I want? I want to be married. I want to have a bunch of kids. I've done that, right? I wanted to play drums. What was blocking me was I thought that I should only play R&B, the genre that I grew up listening to. From being set down, I realized that God's plan in my life was to be a multiple Grammy-nominated country drummer, But from sitting down, I realized, hey man, go where the drum sets are. I went downtown and I started hanging with people who were playing music, and that turned into country music. So I was open to connection, right? Because I sat down and strategically organized my life experience. So that's why I'm so passionate about this work, Coach. And that led to a lot of different great opportunities. But I knew coming out of that, a second chance at life had to be more than just playing the drums, right? It's a piece. So I went from getting enrolled to, I was in school to be a pastor for a few years. And that was great. I learned how to study the Bible. I got in line with my belief system. So I went from there to, I wanted to study NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I wanted to have a scientific understanding of the brain and stories and how we program messages that drive behavior. So once I got that, I had an awesome opportunity during the pandemic to work with on-site workshops where I learned how to deal with trauma. And I learned the process of walking from very damaged to getting to the undamaged part of us, right? And the beauty in community and being in a group setting and doing experiential learning, right? So that all led me back to Coach, who set me on fire when I was 20 years old in the classroom. So we're here.
Well, Hubert was in one of my college classes when I was a professor. I only taught one class as an adjunct professor, and Hubert was a college football player and was in that course. And I said, man, the kid's, he's got something, man. He's got some pop, he's got some energy, got some stick, got some staying power. And then many years later, we just stayed in touch and reconnected. And to me, this is a perfect thing that people need. I see more blocked people than unblocked people. Okay. And I see thousands of people. Okay. And, just this week, we got 500 people on our purpose to profit. And there's something that's keeping those people taking their purpose. Maybe it's finding it. Maybe it's refining it to profiting from it. And there's internal profit and there's external profit. So I'm really, really excited about this. Hubert, just go through some of the things that we're going to be participating. First, we got a 4-week series that's coming up. Many of you who are watching this tonight have already joined. It's only $97 for 4 weeks. And you can work through some of this stuff. Hubert will be coaching during that period. And then we're going to be doing, retreats, boot camps, 1 day event, small group coaching. I mean, we got this beautiful space you can see behind Hubert. My beautiful bride designed it and made it look beautiful. And she was sending
me
an
awesome job too. Awesome job.
It's just such a cool space to get in that element. I just can't wait to get there and do some things and work through this. I mean, it's just going to be an incredible thing. So talk about some of the type of coaching that we're going to be offering there, Hubert, based on your unique skill set and your unique background. It's a nice compliment to what we're doing. The space is in Nashville, Tennessee at Marathon Motor Works, right? Marathon Motor Works is where the space is. So thank you, Stephanie. So let's talk about that, Hubert. Let's talk about what we're going to be.
So we're offering one-on-one coaching, one-to-one, and also group coaching in a day intensive, right? So in a day intensive, you can come in for a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours in the afternoon. And what I'm doing is I spent the last year and a half consulting with therapists. A better way for me to explain it is this: if you sit down with a therapist has a modality right in their head, and they're going to ask you a few questions, and you're going to sit on the couch or the chair, and you're going to leave and come back the next week. Now, this is not a replacement for therapy, but what I've done is I took a therapy modality, a way to organize your life experience, and I'm going to teach that, right? So I teach that along with getting into your story. So when you leave here, you will have a way to organize your experience. You will have awareness on your story, where it served you and where it's hurt you. You will have a clear vision of what you're trying to do and who you need to be to do it, right? And then hopefully I can walk with you as we do that, right? Now I've been a football player. I've gone to music school, and having a coach or teacher was just, it's invaluable. Having someone else for accountability, having someone else to kind of walk, that understands your playbook and is walking with you. And I just think that is paramount when it comes to us and how you're showing up in your internal environment, that you have someone walking with you. Because that's where it starts. That's where it starts. That's transformational coaching, right? So in our world, everything is transactional. Show up, do the job, come to work, execute. What are your numbers? I'm the guy that's going to help you with transformational change with you, right? This place is a mirror. This is not me telling you some things that I found that you've never heard before. I have a unique way for you to come in here and see you, whether that be your pain, your great parts, whatever that is. When you walk from here, you will walk in more power. And I'm excited about that.
There we go. Well, we've had probably 6 to 10 people sign up, folks. If you, I'm just going to really challenge you here. The mental and emotional part, the maintenance, the upgrading of your system, the mindsets, the internal family systems, the trauma from your past. Okay. And we've all had it. We don't even know somehow how it's affecting us, man. We don't even know how it's limiting us from getting to the next level. We just know we're stuck. So I'm really going to encourage you, right, to take this 4-week series, to really go through this and do the heavy work. Because I watch people all the time and I'm like, man, that dude has got a block. It's like he don't even know he's got a block, but it manifests itself in how he talks to people, and it manifests itself in his considerations he has, and it manifests itself because he can't get a sales number, and it manifests itself because he's afraid to ask, and it manifests itself because he don't have a remarkable boldness that he needs. And it's somewhere deep in here that if we don't get to, man, hey, we can have this talk today, or we can have it 10 months from today. We can have it 10 years from today, and you're still getting to the same thing. So I want you to start thinking of yourself as these incredible athletes, these incredible entertainers. I once was doing a show, Hubert, with Dr. Jason Selk. Selk was the psychologist for the St. Louis Cardinals when they won a World Series. And I asked him, I said, does everybody come down and get their mental training? And he said, not everybody. I said, well, who gets the most mental training? And he said, oh, that's easy, Albert Pujols. He said, Pujols comes down and asks for extra mental training and emotional training. He said the people who don't show up for their mental training are the ones sitting on the bench, the ones that mope back to the minor leagues, because they never really get their mental toughness. I just had this talk about a salesperson just last night with another salesperson, and they were saying, man, they just can't fight through their feelings. They cannot fight through, and they don't even know that they can't fight through their feelings, but that's why they can't get to that space on the other side, because they just don't know how to fight through their feelings. Their feelings always win. And because their feelings always win, man, they don't have the discipline. They can't see something through to its conclusion. They always play the victim role. Life is always happening to them, not for them. It's just an on and on and on cycle, man. It's like, damn, until you confront this stuff, man, you just don't go anywhere, man. You just freaking stay stuck. So I'm really going to encourage you guys. It's $97 for 4 weeks. You're not making investment in me and Hubert. We're not going to get rich by doing a 4-week series for $97. You're going to be investing in you. And that's the one you need to be investing in, is what tool can get me to the next frequency? What mental and physical, emotional training do top performers have? And that's really what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to get you to that space. I encourage you, hit link, take action tonight. 4 weeks. It's every Monday in March. 5:30 p.m. Central. Hubert, it will be a completely safe place. Okay. And Mark Schaefer would tell you the things I hear in a day from people when I'm coaching, man, I've heard everything you could possibly imagine. Okay. You come and be a completely safe place for you to get to the next level. So Hubert, I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
Give
Me too, Coach.
a person a reason on why they should take action tonight.
So here's the deal. I have a concept I call technique of belief. I believe that if you believed your process was bulletproof, you would have no problem doing the work. You would have no problem showing up. You would have no problem being connected in relationship. You would have no problem obtaining everything that you want, and you wouldn't be here. But what happens with our technique of belief, it gets challenged from bad narrative. It gets challenged from being let down. Now, I'm not the ultimate, Coach Burt, we're not the ultimate fix-it coach. Right. It's not about fixing you.
That's right.
It's about you being held space so you can see what's right with you. Someone that's going to offer a different perspective. It might be just the obedience of you signing up for something for you. A lot of times in my coaching, before I get finished, I'll say, all right, what are you going to do for you today?
Yeah.
Most people say, what? What am I going to do for me? When's the last time you did something for you?
Yeah.
Right. You're trying to be all these things for everyone else. This is an opportunity for you to be something for you. Do something for you. This is for you. This is a mirror, right? It's a creative way to get into your narrative and your story so you can be pumping on all cylinders and showing up, because you deserve that. The people who love you deserve that. Anyone who's ever sacrificed for you deserves that, right?
Yeah. It's interesting to me, Hubert, and thank you. Our numbers are going up because people are taking action. They're committing to them. Like I said, you ain't committing to me. You ain't committing to Hubert. You're committing to you in the process.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me when I work with really big time people, Hubert, how clear they are in their thoughts, how they handle adversity, how they handle setback. You know, my buddy Tim Story always says, sometimes we settle, right? We sit in a setback. And then sometimes we settle in a setback. And if we're not careful, we'll cement in a setback, which means we harden to people, opportunity. Man, we just give up. We just throw the towel in, right? It's reminding me of a guy that I knew that actually worked for me for a while years ago. And he had a divorce, tough divorce, 20 years earlier. And he lived 20 years later with the defeat of that divorce. Everywhere he went, in a low, supplicated position to other people, just beat down. Life had just knocked the shit out of him, man. And he just lived like that, and he couldn't even see it. He couldn't even have a conversation with people because he was so scared that somebody would reject him. And what had happened is he sat in it a while, then he settled in it, and then he cemented in it. And then it became his normal. And I just want to encourage you, when I'm around really big time people and I'm seeing them do big things, I see that they do the mental and the emotional work. Yeah. They do the physical work, but they do the mental and emotional work. And I'm like, man, that dude is so clear in his thoughts. She is so good at bouncing back from adversity, which is a departure away from an ideal scene. He is so good at this. And man, I'm telling you, it's because they put the work in. Just like they went to the physical gym, they went to the mental gym. Tom Brady had a body man. If you watch the show Man in the Arena, called him a body coach. But when you listen to Brady talk about that guy, and that guy talk about Brady, it had a lot to do with the body, but most of it had to do with the mind.
Yeah.
Brady said it was so valuable to have a guy that I could just talk to about the pressure and the stress and the pressure of being Tom Brady. Man, it's so good to have somebody right there who could be that. He was really his mental coach. He worked his body, but man, he was working that mind. And the dude said it, people couldn't even understand everything he was doing with Brady because they couldn't understand the mental aspects of it. But man, it was fascinating to me that somebody at that level, and you know what? Tom Brady's so even keel, right? He could handle winning. He could handle losing. He didn't lose his composure. Like, he was just so calm all the time. And I just think about that's indicative of a lot of the people I coach that are up here that are self-actualizing. So we're excited. Hubert's going to be great. We're going to do big things at this space. I see it in my mind. It's already full. There's already people there. This thing is going to be packed out with people who are going to take this 4-week course with us. And we're going to do the heavy work, man, it takes to be great. So if you haven't got your spot yet, folks, go ahead and just take action on that tonight. I encourage you. I'm going to put everybody on my team through it. And I was telling my team, man, all of us have blocks. All of us need to go there. All of us need to deal with whatever. Okay. And I see some questions here. Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks for sharing with your team. Thanks for signing up. What have you done to get this point? Share and talk and feedback. Okay. I intend to share with my team. Thank you guys for sharing with your team. Thank you, Gary, for signing up and committing to your future. Okay. Yeah, Chris, what you're talking about here's the concept. And I would tell you from just going through the process of losing 30 pounds and and really understanding that many times when we eat, it's emotional. It's emotional. It's a habit, right? It's a habit. I used to go to the gym all the time, then leave the gym and go eat a big old breakfast. I'd leave that gym, boom, go say, hey man, I earned it. Get to go down and right. And I didn't really understand until I changed my habits. I changed my thinking. I changed my diet. I changed my nutrition. They going to the gym didn't matter, man. If I was going to go out and eat any way I wanted to. And it was really a mental and emotional habit. So it is a form of medication. You're medicating, right? And when you study great characters in the Bible, not to get too deep on you, but typically when you see the Solomon, King David, a lot of these people, there's three things they did when they had a lot of pain. I don't even know if I've ever shared this with you, Hubert. They motivated it when they had a lot of pain. Motivated mean they just worked day and night. They just worked day and night. They became workaholics, right? That's one way they got through pain in their life. Number two, they medicated it. And that's how people medicate things, right? They food, alcohol, addiction. Third thing is they just meditate on it. They stew on it. They keep it inside, right?
Yeah.
And you know, we can all probably relate to that, man. Sometimes in our life we just have so much pain. We just wanted to work 20 hours a day. Then we want to just meditate on it. Then we want to, Cheryl said, marinate on it. Then we want to medicate it. But we're running from something, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're running from something we don't want to deal with. So Hubert, I'm excited about this. People are going to take action. We got people on Facebook watching us tonight. We'll put this on YouTube. People here that signed up tonight, 60 people signed up, stay with us most of the time. We're excited about helping you guys. So Hubert, here's to the space being a big hit.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, man. You guys have a great night. God bless you. Take action. And we look forward to working with you. Thank you for everything.
Thanks, everybody.